I wouldn't cry about that. I had an investment in the beginning of the year where I lost almost 80 grand. Okay, so I think that's worse than betting on something that you didn't have.
That's me with Tesla right now. I'm just getting burnt.
Tesla? Oh, dude, I could tell you this. By the way, we are talking and speaking to MLB analyst and statistician for and from the ace of Spaeder.com, Ryan Spaeder. Check out his annual ball player ball, OT. Is it a ballot? I'm sorry. Speedy has this all rotten and all over the place. Ballot where he polls MLB alumni on who should be in the Hall of Fame. So go check out his website at theaceofspaders.com. It's so funny because Tesla, my friend had Tesla, and he was $80,000 up. I think it was $87,500 up, and then all of a sudden it just fell apart, and now he's down to $3,000. He has $3,000 in his account after, and I told him to buy out of it. I said, buy out of it when it started to dip. It was at 72, 73,000. I said, dip out of it, get out of it. And he did not listen to me. And then I found out on Saturday of last week that he stayed in it, and he's down to 3,000. Could you imagine that? You had $85,000 or $86,000 and you're down to $3,000?
Yeah, so I can, because last October, for example, in the stock market, I lost about 125,000 in a single month. So, yeah, I used to do this strictly for a living, and it's a tough way to live. It's fun to do on the side, but it's never fun to lose big money. I'm doing that on the daily at this point. But I'm the kind of person where, if I'm not playing the option market, which I'm not doing right now, I'm being a little bit more conservative when it comes to just stocks and long positions. I'm just going to keep adding. If it goes down, I'll just buy more. Whatever. I'm not going to sell it. Give it to me. Bring on 2030, 2040. I don't care.
Well, you think Tesla will go back up?
I'm certain it will. Yeah.
Really? Well, that's interesting. And by the way, check out Ryan's annual ball player ballot where he polls MLB alumni on who should be in the Hall of Fame. Go to theaceofspaders.com.
All right, so I'm going to move on to the offseason with your team with the Phillies. Trey Turner, 11 years, $300 million. I thought it was a bargain for that kind of thing, and then they bring in Taijuan Walker as well. I know you were saying you should try to get more pitching. Do you think is there any other targets that you would want pitching-wise, and what do you think about those two contracts?
So I'm inclined to agree with you. People were saying, "Oh, Trey Turner." You know what? One thing that Philly fans that drive me nuts, what they do is they act like it's their money being spent, and I'm just like, you guys are insane. Like, this is what it costs to get one of the best players in the game. Are you nuts? Like, yeah, you got to give him 11 years. Who gives a shit? Like, if he's awful in the last 2, buy him out. Whatever. It's you're not paying this guy 4 years, 9, 10, and 11. You're trying to get what you can in the first 6, 7 years of this deal, and then just hoping for the best. And so that's what it costs now. I mean, look at how many decade-plus deals have been signed. You got Carlos Correa, even after that, nonsensical deal with the Giants. You've got goodness, who's the other shortstop?
Yeah.
That's it.
Bogarts.
Yeah. And then even Swanson got the 7-year deal. So yeah, that's what it costs nowadays. And then the other thing you mentioned, Taijuan Walker. I think that's a huge miss for the Mets, because Walker, if you look at, so first of all, he was hurt and he had the surgery, and then they had that fake season with the 60 games, and he never got a chance to ramp up his innings. Now, if you look at his first full season back, you look at those first half numbers, he was unbelievable. Tremendous. And then he fell off a cliff. And then last year, you look at his first 4 months, and he was unbelievable, and he fell off a cliff. Well, why is he falling off a cliff? It's probably because he hasn't been stretched out in a long time. And I'm hoping that with the Phillies this year, he's going to be able to perform at a high level for the entire season. I think he is a high caliber pitcher. I was calling for the Phillies to sign him back before the Mets originally did. In fact, calling him the best. I called him the best. What was this, 2 or 3 years ago now? The best value for your dollar free agent there was, and for half a season or 4 months out of 6 months, he proved exactly that. And I'm stoked with that signing. Walker is somebody else who I'm friendly with. And, I'm just excited on multiple levels for this. One, because I know the dude and he's awesome. Cool dude. And two, because he's a really good pitcher and he's going to be in a position with the Phils, just as he was with the Mets, I guess, where he's going to be a 4 starter and he's going to be comfortable in that role, I assume, and he's going to be able to help that team. He's not going to give them Kyle Gibson-like performances where you're like, okay, which Gibson are we getting today? The guy who's going to give us 7 innings of 2-run ball with 2 strikeouts and a ton of ground balls? Are we getting the guy who's going out there for 5 innings and striking out 9? Or are we getting the guy who's going out there for 3 innings and giving up 9 runs? I don't think that that's the kind of inconsistency you get from Taijuan Walker. Where you find inconsistency with Walker is where he was falling off at the end of the season. And again, I think that's just because he hadn't been stretched out in a long time. Well, he's had 2 seasons to prepare for that. And I think what we're going to see this year in a Phillies uniform is a stretched out Taijuan Walker who's going to give them 180 innings, 170 innings, strike out 150 to 160, and have a low 3 ERA and win up to 14 games.
Fascinating.
As everybody knows, we are talking to MLB analyst and statistician of the Ace of Spaeder.com, Ryan Spaeder. Ryan, the New York Yankees, they made some good acquisitions in the offseason. They signed their big star. And by the way, Eric says Strevler good. He's so funny. Strevler, they're actually playing. The offensive line's actually blocking for Strevler now, so he's so happy. What now? What? Who cares? He's not the starting quarterback of this organization either. But to go back to the Yankees, what are your thoughts to the Yankees signings? Carlos Rodon, who a lot of people like, he was the best lefty available. A pretty good contract, 6 years, $162 million, makes him $27 million richer for the next 6 years. Where did you see their offseason? Do you think this has been a successful offseason for the New York Yankees?
So a couple things with the Yankees. They haven't done – I'm not going to say that it's that they haven't done enough, right? Because we saw how dominant they were last year when everybody was healthy. This team has proven time and time again that everybody's not always going to be healthy. Now – I always forget. You guys Yankees guys or Mets guys?
I'm a Mets fan. He's a Yankee fan.
Okay. So you may not want to hear this. It's the pinned tweet on my profile right now, and it will remain that way from June 21st when I alerted everybody to the fact that the Yankees were using different baseballs than everybody else. And, of course, I was called a hater and all this other stuff. And sure enough, the astrophysicist Dr. Meredith Wills proved that that's exactly what was going on. Aaron Judge, I believe that the Major League Baseball wanted Aaron Judge to chase not just the American League record, but Barry Bonds' record. And I also commented on that back in July. I don't think that they're going to play with fire and do something similar to that again. I don't think Aaron Judge is going to hit your, 62, 65, 74 home runs this year. I don't think he'll probably ever challenge that number again. I hope I'm wrong because it would be awesome. It'd be great for baseball. I don't like the idea that you're using different baseballs, not just in Yankees games, but in primetime games. I think that you're cheating fans. You're cheating baseball by doing that. You want to bring out the juice baseballs? Bring out the juice baseballs. I'm all for it. I don't care. Just let everybody play with the same baseballs, play on a level field. I digress, though. When it comes to what the Yankees have done, Rodon, awesome signing. I really like his stuff. I think he is he's really molded himself into one of the premier left-handed pitchers. It was going to take that 6th year. And sure enough, the Yankees were willing to spring for it. I think other teams are a little bit foolish for not being willing to do so, the Phillies, for example. And then one thing when it comes to Aaron Judge, he signs this massive deal, $360 for 9 years, I believe, right?
Yep, correct.
That's what it took. Whatever, $40 million a year. Good for Aaron Judge. But you have to keep in mind, you guys already had this guy. So it's not like a massive offseason free agent signing. Yes, you're keeping your guy, but you already had him. So how is it improving the offense? Well, it really isn't because he was already on this team. So you're going to have to look to improve the offense in other ways. I thought other ways for them might be signing a big ticket free agent. Not maybe, if not like a Correa or a Bogarts, maybe Dansby Swanson or something. And they went ahead and didn't do that. I don't think that this offense needs another year of Jason Donaldson in that lineup. He is kind of going the way of Joey Gallo, in my opinion. He was awesome, and he was a great defensive third baseman. A lot of pop. It just kind of seems like, as he's getting older, his body's breaking down a little bit, and that's, it's no crime to have that happen. The guy was an MVP. He's one of the best players in baseball. He's just no longer there. And I think if you're going to have Donaldson on that team, he's going to be somebody you want to get about 200 at bats a season so that he can get 200 good at bats. You don't want to have to force him out there. Let him be a role player. Let him be somebody who's going to come off the bench. Let him come up in a key pinch hit situation. I don't have to remind either of you about Raul Ibanez at 39 years old coming off the bench for pinch hitting for Alex Rodriguez, if I recall, in the postseason, and hitting 2 home runs in extra innings, was it? Mm-hmm. Yeah, as a pinch hitter and then staying in the game. Like, that's the kind of player I expect Donaldson to be and to succeed as, if he's going to stick with the Yankees. Now, what are they going to do going forward? I don't know. I'd really be shocked if they don't at least make a play at Reynolds with the Pirates. I think that guy's got a lot of talent, and I think he would really benefit from the short porch. He is very good hitting the ball from pole to pole. And I think he would really benefit his home run numbers from the short porch you guys got at Yankee Stadium. We like to call it a bandbox, but Citizens Bank Park isn't too much bigger, with exception to that.
But how about the shifting? I mean, the shifting's going to help the Yankees. The shifting's going to help a lot of these offensive players. There is no more shifting in the MLB this year, so I think it will open up the offense. And for some guys like Anthony Rizzo